What's going on, y'all? It's Jacob, and we have been having some freaking fuel issues with the Built Folks ST. She's been in the garage for about a week now, and okay, let me just explain this a little bit. Everything was going fine. We're getting our revisions knocked out. Alex is sending me more boosts and more boosts. We're tuning on E30, and I'm in the middle of a 4th gear log, and I just lose fuel pressure altogether. Just car bogs down, freaking, like, I thought and drive it for a little bit, everything seems fine, just cruising, get back into it, and it's completely fine. So what do? I don't want to wait for a OEM fuel pump from Ford, so I grabbed me a Delphi fuel pump from AutoZone, throw it in. It's just not acting right. So these are the things that I was logging in my data log to try to diagnose this. I was data logging the high pressure fuel sensor, and the actual and the desired amount, and then I was data logging the low pressure, the actual and the desired amount, and then the voltage from each sensor. So I would go out, warm up the car, I would do a pull, and it would seem fine, and then it would just start acting up. It would start losing fuel, and one time it actually went into a limp mode, and high pressure, what desired, was stuck at like 50, 60 something, just weird stuff. And where am I even going with this? We got some parts going into it. We're going to see if this will fix the issue. We have a Ford OEM fuel pump, part number right there if you need it. We have a Tappet follower bucket thing for the fuel pump, part number right there if you need it. And then I'm going to put these, okay, so I'm going to put the fuel pump in first. Go warm up the car, drive it for about 30 minutes, see if that fixes the issue. If not, there is a high pressure sensor right here. There's a part number if you need it. We'll throw that in. We'll see if it acts up still. And then I should have a low pressure sensor coming in from Ford tomorrow. And I read up on some forums about the low pressure sensor, and apparently the EcoBoost Mustangs have huge problems with these low pressure sensors, and they'll start to hiccup, they'll start to go out, and it'll cause all sorts of weird fuel trim issues. But the Focus has a different low pressure sensor. It's not the same part number, it's a completely different sensor, and we don't seem to have problems with these sensors. So I'm hoping, crossing my fingers, that the high pressure sensor fixes this issue. And let's I'm gonna throw it on real quick, get the car warmed up, and go out and see if it acts right. I would do like a time lapse install of the fuel pump, but it's literally like 2 bolts. I mean, I could try to do like a regular speed that looks like a time lapse. I don't know, but let's get this thing in and see if that hopefully fixes the issue. All right, got some bad news. Only about 10-15 minutes into the drive, and if you can see that in the top left-hand corner, that is fuel rail pressure desired, and it's moving now. It was just stuck at 54. It was just stuck at 54. Went into like that limp mode. I have no idea. So I guess we'll head back, and the next thing will be to install the high pressure sensor and see if that fixes the issue. Oh well. Welcome back, folks, to another episode of trying to diagnose fuel issues on the Built Focus ST. Episode 2, your host Jacob in the flesh. So the high pressure fuel pump did not fix the issue. That did not fix the issue. Am I a little bummed that I bought a new high pressure fuel pump, put it on the car, and it didn't fix the issue? Maybe. But I'm doing this one part at a time because I really want to figure out the culprit of the problem. And it's just kind of weird. It's inconsistent. It's hard. It's been a little difficult to diagnose. The high pressure fuel pump was not the issue. So tonight we are installing the high pressure sensor on the fuel rail. And if you don't know exactly where that is, it is right where my finger is. This little guy right here. It's literally just boop. Pigtail comes off. The sensor is right there. Right there. So I'm hoping this deep socket 27 with a swivel will get it out. I was actually walking out of the shop. The guy was like, "Bro, what kind of?" He was like, "Bro, what kind of vape is that?" I was walking out like this, and like, interesting, very interesting. But we'll get this sensor swapped over, and as always, we'll go out, we'll drive the car, and we will lean it out and try not to blow it up. Alex from Stratified, if you're watching, I'm sorry. What are you gonna do? All right, folks, we have a scientific breakthrough going on right here. I kind of feel like an idiot, I'm not gonna lie, but here's a situation. We put the sensor in, right? Boop, easy, put the sensor in, did not help at all. It actually seemed worse. Started the car up, and the fuel rail pressure kept bouncing down to 54. Just kept bouncing down, losing fuel pressure. Weird. I'm thinking to myself, electrical. It seems sensor electrical related. So I start poking around with the car running, and long behold, let's get a light going here. The car's running, right? And I come back here and I start poking around at these wires, and I seem to be able to track it down. I put the access port in the windshield right there to see when it would bounce down to 54, which when you unplug the regulator solenoid here on the high pressure pump, it goes down to 54 on the access port. There's no connection. So I start poking around, and it seems like the two wires there at the top of the cable here, oh my goodness, what the, they look like they got snagged at some point in time. Maybe doing the motor swap, putting something on wrong. They don't look too hot. So I'm sitting here like, if I have to get a connection, I mean, it's right there. I don't think these pigtails are disassemblable. But here's the cool part. Okay, here's the cool part. Homeboy, who I bought a motor from, that's actually the motor in this car that I built. I bought the long block. It was a low compression long block. He gave me a bunch of spare parts, right? And so I'm sitting there. I got the motor in the truck. He's like, "Hey, I got some spare parts." And by the way, he picks this up and he throws it in my arms, and he's like, "Hey," I don't have any use for this mangled up piece of wiring harness. But folks, look at this, okay? If I be darned, I was looking through here and I already lost it. Does that not look like what we need right there, folks? looks identical. So I'm literally just gonna cut, splice in the new connector, probably just shrink wrap it, tape it back up, and fingers crossed. I wasted $300 or $400 throwing parts at it when it was a freaking wire. But you know, that's the name of the game. And to begin with, as I've mentioned several times, it was very occasional, it was very weird. I could drive it 30 minutes to an hour sometimes and it would be fine, and then it would just act up. And it's almost like when it started acting up, it kept acting up, which could definitely be a broken wire sitting right there. So we will get this cut, spliced in there, and then I think we're gonna be good to go. I'm excited. Yes, sir! I am so excited to have this issue finally resolved, which I haven't even gotten on it yet. So we'll see how this goes. I'm still logging my fuel well pressure actual over here on the access port. So we'll do a little merge third gear action here. It's felt good so far. It hasn't felt anything like it did before. So I'm hoping for the best. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. I think we're good. I see a lid. We'll try it again. Yeah, that thing's hauling. It's hauling the mail though. It's definitely making the connections it needs to make. That was 26.6 pounds on E30. Roll the window down a little bit, get some noise action. Alright, let's see. I'm gonna keep an eye on my fuel pressure here. Yeah, it was definitely not right before. Feeling good. So that's gonna be it for the video. Thought I was tracking down, diagnosing the issue, kind of having to throw parts at it, but ended up stumbling on the damaged wire, and we're good to go. So watch the channels for updates. I'll keep doing some stuff with the build, and until next time, y'all take care. Peace.